Chapter 6. The Missing Piece. After feeling refreshed from a day off, I actually felt eager to get back to work. As I was cooking my usual eggs for breakfast, I was a little disappointed I didn't have a dream that was odd and I couldn't explain. It started to become the norm for me to wake up and spend all morning trying to make sense of a puzzle of a dream I had the night before. I also started thinking about how Carrie must have stolen the doll Rios was talking about. And ever since then, the odd connection I've been having with whatever it was just vanished instantly. I felt like not only did I let myself down, but I let whatever it was that was trying so hard to assist me in solving Haley's case down as well. I hopped into my patrol car and immediately checked my work phone, hoping for something or anything for that matter. Nothing. Not even a single missed phone call. I arrived to the police station and went to check my email, and again, nothing. An empty feeling came over me as if none of this had ever happened. I knew there was only one thing I could do right now, and that was to get a hold of Carrie, but she's been avoiding me and I won't get anywhere with her, unless I were to somehow sneak up on her and catch her by surprise. I have an idea. I picked up the phone and called the county clerk. "Hello," I said. "Can you tell me who owns the property at 74,719 Grapevine?" I could hear the clerk typing away on her keyboard and clicking on her mouse on the other side of the line. That property has been vacant for years. Ever since the previous owner passed away, it went back to the bank, as no one ever stepped in and took over. Ding, ding, ding. "Thank you," I said as I hung up the phone. "Carrie has some explaining to do. This whole time she's been setting up a home in a place that she doesn't own. I also never even thought what she did for work and how she paid the bills. It makes sense now how she always has the time to beat me to Rio's house and never has anywhere else to be." I made the drive to Carrie's house. I pulled off to the side of the road just before her driveway came into sight. I parked my car off the road and out of sight and started walking into the woods where no one, not even Carrie, could see me. I circled around so I could see the backyard of Carrie's house and stayed put for a moment, looking for movement inside of the house. I don't know why I didn't notice it before, but from this angle, the house did appear to be abandoned. A few minutes passed and I didn't hear nor see anything. I emerged from the tree line to the backyard, thinking how creepy that was, if someone was inside the house looking out at me. The house was secluded by itself and surrounded by trees after all. I went up to the back door and twisted the doorknob to open it. Locked. I walked around the house, looking at the windows, waiting to spot Carrie eyeing me down. I made it to the front door and tried the doorknob. Locked also. I knocked on the door and yelled, "Carrie, we need to talk now!" A moment passed before I spotted Carrie in an adjoining window peeking through the blinds. "Carrie, it's over. You're not fooling me anymore," I said loud enough so that she could hear me. Carrie continued watching me through the window as if I never saw her. "Okay, Carrie," I said as I backed away from the door, hoping she'd let her guard down and think I was leaving. I back up nearly 10 feet from the door before I stopped, lowered my shoulder, and charged at the front door. The door fell to the ground with ease as the deadbolt was barely engaged. I turned and looked at Carrie as she screamed bloody murder and took off running away from me. I took off after her as she ran into Haley's bedroom. She tried to lock the door behind her, but she wasn't fast enough. I forced the door open with her just on the other side. Carrie didn't stand a chance keeping the door closed as I forced it open and she fell to the floor. Carrie continued to scream at me while looking at me with an evil look. My attention focused over onto Haley's bed where a doll was lying. Instantly, I knew that was the same doll Rios was talking about and that Carrie stole. Carrie noticed me looking at the doll and ran for it. I beat Carrie to it and tackled her to the floor and put her in handcuffs. "We're not playing your games anymore, Carrie. Now, we're doing it my way," I told Carrie. Carrie looked at me and continued screaming, "Let it all out. I'm not going anywhere and no one's coming for you." I guess that was the right thing to say as Carrie's demeanor changed instantly and she stopped screaming. She started breathing heavily to get her breath back before she started crying. "That's a good start," I said. "I'm not going anywhere until you tell me the truth." Carrie took a moment to catch her breath before saying,
"I never intended for it to go this far. I needed help, and instead they turned against me and made it worse."
"Who?" I responded. Carrie looked back up at me and said,
"He's behind you."
I looked over my shoulder towards the bedroom door and didn't see anything. I turned back to face Carrie and saw her demeanor had completely changed again. She was smiling, and it made me uneasy since I had never seen Carrie smile before. No one's behind me, I told Carrie. Just then, I heard the floorboards creak behind me towards the hall. I slowly looked back over my shoulder, knowing Carrie and I weren't alone in the house. Damn, I said under my breath. Carrie, who is that? Carrie slowly started to laugh, and just when I felt like I had the upper hand, it was starting to crash down on me. Carrie, who the hell is that? I repeated. Carrie continued laughing as if I wasn't there. I stood up straight and slowly walked towards the bedroom door. I peeked the corners and didn't see anything. I reminded myself that I need the doll. I went back inside the bedroom and picked up the doll from the bed. Carrie instantly stopped laughing and stared me down and said,
I put that back.
growing tired of Carrie's games, I looked her directly in the eye and said, make me. I regretted saying that as the bedroom door slowly started to close on its own. I quickly walked towards the door with the doll still in my hand and forced it back open. I looked back at Carrie, who was still staring me down like a hawk. I don't think she blinked since I picked up the doll. What's going on with this doll, Carrie? Carrie continued to ignore me and stared right through me, not making a sound.
Put the doll back and let me go.
Carrie finally said. Not until you tell me what's going on, I asserted myself. Before Carrie had the chance to speak, a scratching noise came from the kitchen area.
Mommy.
Said the doll. That was enough for Carrie as she broke out of her trance and started crying uncontrollably. I'm so sorry, Carrie yelled from the floor. I looked down at the doll in disbelief. That scared me pretty good, and I was about to drop it. But that's what Carrie wanted. I walked out of the bedroom towards the kitchen where the scratching noise was coming from.
No, don't leave me.
Carrie pleaded. I was about to open the refrigerator door when the bedroom door that Carrie was still in slammed shut. I ran back to the door and attempted to open it. This time, it wouldn't budge. Carrie, are you okay? I said. Silence. Great, now I left a handcuffed, mentally ill woman alone and locked inside a room that I can't get to. There was only one thing left to do now. I sat the doll down on the floor against the wall next to the bedroom door. I dropped to one knee and looked the doll in the eye. I could tell by the eye contact I wasn't looking into the eyes of an empty doll. I could feel a presence attached to this doll, the way it looked back at me. I turned my portable radio on and took a moment to brace myself. Almost instantly, my radio started to emit the same white noise I heard from the past couple of days with these same interactions. Carrie must have known what was going on, as I could hear the floor creak from underneath her as she slowly walked towards the bedroom door.
I see you.
Came over my radio and through the white noise. Carrie started to cry from the other side of the door again. I see you, I responded. This interaction was different. In previous interactions, I was afraid. This time, I felt dread and felt like crying.
Please find me.
With a tear rolling down my cheek, I responded, Where are you? The white noise coming from the radio grew louder and louder. If I was getting an answer, I definitely couldn't hear it over the static.
I'll take you to her,
said Carrie as the door unlocked and slowly opened. I picked up the doll and asked Carrie where Haley was. Carrie was still crying as she held her handcuffed wrists up to me, gesturing she needed to be let out. No more bullshit.
No more.
Carrie responded. I uncuffed Carrie and helped her stand on her 2 feet. Carrie started walking towards the back door and outside to the backyard. Carrie stopped walking just before she reached the shed in the backyard and pointed towards it. Haley! I shouted as I ran past Carrie and opened the shed. It was completely dark inside. I pulled out my flashlight and lit up the interior as I stepped inside. Haley! I said again. Damn it, Carrie, open the damn door!